Welcome to OOTO TV, the out-of-the-office investigation from the past into the future of personal health and actualization. This time we're discussing how your words and thoughts manifest your reality. I'm Sue, your guide for this exploration into the frontiers of human potential.
And I'm Bob, here to connect the fascinating research and bring clarity to the mechanisms behind these powerful concepts. We're truly delighted to have you, our listener, as the third voice in this conversation, journeying with us through these remarkable insights.
Today, we're embarking on an incredible investigation, really looking into that powerful and often surprising connection between our inner world, everything from our beliefs and the words we choose, to even those fleeting thoughts that cross our minds and the actual reality we experience every single day. It's a topic that, well, it cuts right to the core of what it means to be human, doesn't it? And it shapes pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Exactly. Our journey today will take us through several, I think, really compelling layers. We'll start by looking at the neuroscience, the really intricate stuff that underpins perception and how our brains, well, literally construct our experience.
Okay.
Then we'll move into the impact of our personal narratives and mindsets, looking at how the stories we tell ourselves really shape our lives.
That's huge.
It is. And finally, we'll explore some practical strategies for, harnessing this power.
Okay.
And importantly, we'll also take a candid look at some criticisms and caveats. Got to keep it balanced, right?
Absolutely. Grounded perspective is key.
Okay, so let's start with the foundational understanding, a really core statement for today. Your words and thoughts manifest your reality through a complex mental and physical process. And this isn't just like a metaphor or some abstract idea.
Right.
It's a deeply rooted interaction happening within our biology, constantly shaping how we experience everything.
That's a truly mind-bending place to start. I was completely fascinated by that research from MIT neuroscientists. The idea that our prior expectations and beliefs can literally warp how our brain represents sensory input.
Yeah, warp is a good word for it.
It is. Imagine this. Two people, same external conditions, but because of their beliefs, their brains interpret it differently, which then leads to totally different behaviors. It's like our brain isn't just passively receiving stuff.
No, not at all.
It's actively editing, filtering based on our internal blueprint,
Right.
And it's not just visual tricks. It's about how your worldview dictates what opportunities you even see.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is how that filtering ties into the bigger picture, the brain networks. Dr. James Doty from the University of Chicago, he explains that what we often call manifesting. It's not really some external magic force.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's more about intelligently using our brain's own capabilities, like using our conscious executive networks to deliberately place our desires, our goals into our unconscious networks.
Okay. Like programming the subconscious. Sort of. Think of it like maximizing our internal operating system. You configure it to constantly scan for and orient towards what you desire, even when you're not consciously thinking about it.
Wow, that connection to our internal OS. That's incredible. So if beliefs alter perception, what about the day-to-day impact of our internal chatter, that internal dialogue? Dr. Arjun Khalsa had some powerful insights there, didn't she? Highlighting how negative thoughts, worry, fear, anger, they aren't just mental states. They generate actual negative energies that physically drain our body's energy system.
Right, it's physiological.
Exactly. It directly contributes to stress responses.
Yeah.
You get measurable increases in cortisol, that primary stress hormone, more adrenal activity. You end up feeling not just mentally burdened, but genuinely physically depleted, unwell even.
And if we flip that coin, the converse is just as powerful. Engaging our parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, it does more than just calm us down.
It literally opens up access to a wider range of memories and experiences. When we're in that relaxed, open state, it fosters a more generous, expansive attitude, a calm, present mind, free from constant noise like, endless doom scrolling on social media.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It really is. That calm mind is crucial for manifesting intentions. Distractions just fragment our focus and, well, they significantly reduce the probability of our brain effectively integrating and acting on those goals.
Okay, so based on all this incredible neuroscience, the brain's filters, the physiological responses, how do our words and thoughts manifest our reality in a well, in a tangible way.
Well, it happens through this continuous dynamic interplay. It's not just one thing. So when we engage in consistent negative self-talk, for instance, it's not just a bad mood, right?
Right.
We're actively stimulating and strengthening specific neural pathways. And those pathways, along with the physiological responses, can literally limit our perceptions. It makes it harder to even see new opportunities or, take proactive steps toward our goals.
So you're kind of creating your own blind spots.
Exactly. But conversely, when we cultivate positive intentional thought, it primes our brain. It makes us more receptive to relevant information, more resilient when setbacks happen, and more proactive in seizing opportunities. It's almost like our brain is actively searching for ways to align our external world with our internal beliefs.
This is exactly where the mindset mentor Rob Dial comes in with that compelling idea of us being magicians who speak and create.
Right, I remember that phrasing.
He champions the idea that our words aren't just sounds. They're incredibly powerful tools. They can shape reality for ourselves and for others. But, he stresses, it's not just the words. It's the energy, the conviction, the belief behind those words that really gives them their transformative power.
Indeed. And that idea echoes ancient wisdom, like the very root of the word spelling, referring to casting a spell with words.
Wow, I never made that connection.
Yeah. It speaks to this profound, long-held understanding of language's power. The mind, in this context, really is like a garden. Our thoughts are the seeds we plant continuously. And whether we're conscious of it or not, these seeds are constantly growing, shaping the reality we experience day in, day out.
And that anecdote from Rob Dial himself, it really brings this home. He talked about having 4 torn labrums, one in each shoulder and hip.
Ouch. That sounds incredibly painful and limiting.
Right. And for years, he identified with these injuries. He'd say things like, I have shoulder issues. That specific label created what he called a deficit mentality, this feeling of being limited, broken. He stopped working out, restricted his life.
Accepting it as his reality.
Exactly. But then he made a conscious shift, a deliberate change in his language to, I've had shoulder issues. And he started using powerful affirmations. I am strong. I am healed. And something incredible happened.
What was the outcome?
He regained strength, improved his fitness, experienced a physical recovery that doctors hadn't really anticipated. It's almost like the ultimate placebo effect, proving that immense, almost alchemical power of internal belief and the words we choose to describe ourselves. You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bilo.
Okay, so building on how our internal dialogue shapes our immediate reality, let's zoom out a bit. How do these patterns weave into the bigger picture, the grander tapestry of our personal life story? Our sources definitely show that words and thoughts manifest our reality significantly affect the quality and outcomes in life. It's truly impactful when we look at the narratives we build.
That's absolutely right. And this brings us squarely into the profound role of personal narrative. Danik Adams at Northwestern, his work on narrative identity is key here. He explains that as individuals, we're constantly constructing these elaborate unfolding stories about our lives.
They're not just memories then. No, not just random recollections. They're carefully woven narratives. They're designed to make sense of our past, provide meaning and purpose now, and give us a sense of direction for the future. And this process, as research from the University of Southern Denmark, SDU, highlights, becomes especially vital after stressful events. It helps us literally reconstruct our sense of self.
That SDE study really dug into this meaning-making after difficult things like chronic illness. They shared some compelling stories, like Peter's, after battling cancer and a divorce. Wow.
Yeah, double whammy.
Right. He didn't let it define him negatively. Instead, he rebuilt his life by crafting this powerful narrative of himself as a fighter, a story filled with high self-efficacy, actively creating a new chapter. Then there was Yvonne, whose chronic illness and job loss threatened her core identity, her base, as they called it. Her struggle shows how deeply our stories are tied to our foundation.
And how people actively strive to secure their base, adapt their stories to maintain that quality of life, or redefine it. And what's particularly interesting here is the therapeutic power of narrative itself. Sources like Psychology Today talk about journaling as a tool for reflection and reinterpretation. And there's that PMC study on Latin American immigrant women. It showed how deep listening during interviews helped them reinterpret past trauma.
So it's not just about venting, it's about reframing.
Precisely. These processes don't just offer emotional relief, though they do that too. They actively enhance resilience. They empower people by letting them recover their voice, reframe experiences, find new meaning.
Stanford's research on mindsets by Carol Dweck fits perfectly here, doesn't it? That idea that our fundamental beliefs about human attributes, are they fixed or are they malleable, capable of growth? That belief profoundly impacts everything.
It really does. Fix versus growth.
Yeah. And Gregory Walton, another Stanford researcher, said something really insightful. The most proximate determinant of how people behave is how they understand things, and you can change that. And they proved it. Interventions that just change students' stories about college struggles, reframing them as normal, something you overcome, led to dramatically better academic outcomes.
It's about consciously altering the lens.
Totally.
And to build on that, think about mindset and physical health. Studies show that self-perceptions about your own activity levels, regardless of your actual objective activity, correlate with lifespan. If you believe you're active, your body seems to respond differently.
Wow. That's incredible.
It is. And mindset interventions have been really successful in helping chronic pain patients manage better. But on the flip side, a fixed mindset believing ability is set in stone can lead to stronger stereotyping avoidant behaviors. It shows the self-fulfilling power of these frameworks.
Okay, so considering all this, the brain's role, the personal narratives, the impact of mindsets, what are key elements for words and thoughts to manifest our reality when it comes to shaping our personal narratives and identity?
Well, fundamentally, I think it boils down to recognizing and embracing active agency, seeing ourselves as the authors, not just characters in our own lives. Jonathan Adler's research, featured on Hidden Brain, really emphasizes this. We aren't just passive subjects. We construct our stories.
Right, the authorship idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of Leon Fleischer, the pianist. Prodigy, then a debilitating hand condition derailed his career. Devastating. But he didn't let that be the end. He drew chapter breaks differently, as Adler puts it.
He became a conductor, right?
Yes. Reinvented himself, refused to let the injury define his entire musical identity, and then, decades later, triumphantly returned to two-handed play. That conscious narrative shift changed his entire story. It shows the power of reframing adversity.
And Layla's story, also from Hidden Brain, that was another incredible example. Faced with sudden blindness.
Yeah, just imagine.
She made a profound choice. Accept it fully, actively rebuild her identity as a blind person.
She shifted careers to adaptive technology, seeing her blindness not as an end, but as the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow. That takes incredible strength and agency.
It really does. Profound self-authorship, actively choosing how to interpret and integrate a life-altering event. And this resonates, with advice you find in places like Reddit's self-help community challenging limiting beliefs, taking small, consistent actions to actively write and reshape your own life story. Okay, so as we transition now towards actionable steps and thinking about long-term growth, it's really clear that your words and thoughts manifest your reality with continuity while achieving long-term growth, and they truly are critical to achieve your goals. This isn't just about quick fixes, it's about sustained transformation, right?
Absolutely. And this brings us right back to that core message from the Mindset Mentor podcast. Don't identify with past labels or current limits. Instead, it's about actively choosing to speak above your current circumstances. You articulate the reality you want, not the one you're in now.
Like projecting forward.
Exactly. As a fundamental step towards manifesting it, it's really an act of faith in your own potential.
And this connects directly to the idea of trust, which Brains Magazine explains is absolutely necessary for manifesting effectively. So how do we build that trust? By deliberately choosing an upbeat, future-oriented attribution style.
Attribution style, meaning how you explain things to yourself.
Exactly. Do you blame external factors? Or do you focus on what you can control, what you can learn? Making good feelings more significant, consciously celebrating small wins that builds internal trust. And Forbes had a great strategy for overwhelm. Don't plan. Do one thing.
Just one thing.
Yeah. Taking any action, no matter how small, apparently resets brain chemicals. It shifts you from feeling paralyzed to empowered, creating momentum.
I like that. Very practical. Dr. Arjun Khalsa also gives us some wonderful practical gems here, too. She talks about fake it till you make it, not as deception, but as a way to consciously shift your energetic state. You literally change your physiology and confidence.
Right. Embody the feeling you want.
And then there's that lovely concept of the ripple effect of positive interactions. Just smiling at a cashier. It sends out this subtle positive energy.
Yeah, it can shift your mood and theirs.
It can. And I love the symbolic power she mentions of Buddhist prayer flags. They aren't just decoration. They represent intentions being sent out into the world with every flap.
Releasing those aspirations.
Yes. So with all this incredible potential, these strategies, the neuroscience, the narratives, the actions, can we make our words and thoughts manifest our reality? Is it truly that straightforward?
This raises a really important question. Because while there's immense power here, we absolutely need to apply a critical lens. It's crucial to acknowledge that not all claims around manifestation hold up to scientific scrutiny. It's not a guaranteed formula.
Okay, like what?
Well, for instance, consider lucky girl syndrome. There's a big TikTok trend recently. Despite enthusiastic claims, it fundamentally lacks scientific evidence. Wikipedia notes it's largely anecdotal, highly susceptible to confirmation bias.
Right. You see what you want to see?
Exactly. The danger is the implication that just repeating mantras without action or acknowledging external factors will magically bring success. That's not really grounded in how these internal mechanisms interact with the world.
That's incredibly important context. And our sources, specifically that PMC study on the manifestation scale, offer a fascinating counterpoint. They show that while people who strongly believe in manifestation often perceive themselves as more successful,
Perception, key word there.
right, they are also statistically more likely to engage in risky investments, have experienced bankruptcy, and notably, they don't necessarily show objective success in terms of higher income or education. So there's a disconnect between belief and, well, measurable outcomes sometimes. Underscores that intention alone isn't always enough.
You're listening to OOTO TV with research by author Paul Bielo.
Precisely. And this really brings us back to Dr. James Doty's point from Chicago. Manifestation, viewed rationally, is about maximizing internal mechanisms, our brain's capabilities, our psychological frameworks, our actions that follow. It's not about relying on external guarantees or just wishful thinking. It's vital to remember external circumstances, real-world challenges, the complex web of cause and effect. They have to be considered. It's not a foolproof formula where every thought instantly becomes reality without effort or, interacting with the world as it is.
Okay, so as we wrap up this investigation, let's try and synthesize the major insights, pull it all together. We've definitely seen the incredible, undeniable power of the mind neurologically, right? That MIT research showing how expectations literally warp perception.
Yeah, fundamental.
We've explored the profound influence of our personal narratives, how the stories we tell ourselves directly shade our identity, our quality of life. That work from SDU, Northwestern, Stanford was crucial. And to reiterate that central theme, bring it all together.
Yeah.
Your words and thoughts manifest your reality through a complex mental and physical process. Our inner thoughts, the specific words we choose, the energy and belief behind them, they actively, continuously shape our experience. This dance between our internal world and external reality, highlighted by the mindset mentor, Dr. Carlson. It's far more powerful than many of us realize day to day.
Absolutely. So the key takeaway, the thread weaving through it all, seems to be conscious agency. Manifestation isn't magic, not in the fairy tale sense. It's about actively choosing our narrative, cultivating a growth mindset, relentlessly challenging limiting beliefs.
Taking ownership.
Yes, focusing on positive attribution styles, how we explain things, and then taking those small, consistent actions that align with our intentions, being the deliberate author.
And to be clear, words and thoughts manifest our reality, significantly affect quality and outcomes in life. And for your words and thoughts to manifest your reality with continuity while achieving long-term growth and be critical to achieve your goals, it's paramount to integrate these powerful tools with critical thinking.
Right, can't forget that part.
And a firm acknowledgement of external realities. It's not about denying challenges, but about how we frame them, internalize them, and respond with intentionality.
So we really encourage you, our listener, to reflect on this. What stories are you consistently telling yourself daily? What kind of mental, emotional environment are you cultivating inside your own mind? And based on everything we've explored, what conscious choices can you make, starting right now, to author a more empowering, more aligned narrative for yourself?
And maybe let's ponder this open question as we conclude. How do we effectively navigate that fine line between optimistic belief and realistic, grounded action? How can we best integrate these incredibly powerful psychological tools, stay empowered and hopeful, while also staying grounded in the world's complexities and external factors? These are questions we all grapple with, I think.
And one final thought to leave you with. If our individual words and thoughts can manifest our own reality, what collective reality might we be manifesting as communities, maybe even as nations, through our shared stories and dominant narratives? Jonathan Adler talks about these master narratives, the big stories a society tells itself. It echoes things like Barack Obama's Audacity of Hope speech, which really offered a compelling narrative, didn't it?
Food for thought, definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Out of the Office investigation from OATO TV. We truly hope this exploration empowers you to continue exploring the incredible power of your own mind.
For all of us at OOTO TV, farewell for now.